Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. You're listening to OWWR Sports. This is OWWR, Old Westbury Web Radio, broadcast live from the State University of New York here at Old Westbury. We are coming at you live from the State University of New York Clark Athletic Center as we get ready for the SUNY Old Westbury men's Panthers as they get ready to take on the United States Merchant Marine Academy Mariners right here on the hardwood. Tonight, in the broadcast booth, for your play-by-play commentary, Joshua Wilson. Your color commentary, Mohamed Ducare. Your courtside reporter, Jillian Schaefer. Angelina Zavala is at the helm, pushing the buttons tonight. And that is your sports broadcast team for this evening's matchup between the SUNY Old Westbury men's Panthers and the United States Merchant Marine Academy Mariners. This is an exclusive broadcast of OWWR Sports. This is the pregame show. Tip-off begins at 7 p.m. But right now, let's kick things over for your pregame reporting to Joshua Wilson and Mohamed Ducare.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's exciting basketball matchup here on OWWR. I am Joshua Wilson, and I'm joined by the one and only Mohamed Ducare here for tonight's broadcast of the Old Westbury Panthers taking on the Merchant Marine Academy's Mariners. We're coming to you live from the Clark Athletic Center. So, Mohamed, we're here for an exciting evening here on senior night. You being a senior, how does it feel? How does it feel being here at Old Westbury for 4 years and you being a senior, now you're being recognized as a senior, as others are?
Yeah, I mean, just being a senior, you always have that feeling that this time isn't going to last long. So I know for the players, they're feeling the same way, and they're trying to get in as much things as they can, score the points, just be a good teammate, and try to get some wins before you leave the school.
That sounds, it sounds exciting. As a third year, I could definitely understand that feeling. You feel like you're almost out the door. You feel like you're almost done. So I have to say, like, as a junior, I'm anticipating being a senior, but not fully. You know what I mean? So, but if you want to talk more about these two teams ahead of us, we have the Mariners and the Panthers, two conference opponents.
Yeah, I think the matchup are always better when it's between two teams in the conference, because if both teams get to that conference, that off-season, postseason, that matchup becomes a lot more serious, and those matchups that you guys had in the past, they mean a lot. And
as the Panthers, you still have somewhat of a negative conference record, 5-7. You definitely want this one. You want this one. You want the next one. You want to make that record positive. You want to get over 500, at least in your conference. You have a 3-2 home record, so you're known for defending home court. You want to maintain that. You don't want to get tied up at 3-3 at your home court. You don't want to give other teams that confidence stepping into your house thinking, oh, yeah, we could run it here. Other teams did.
Yeah, and I think that 3-2 record at home against conference teams, it means a lot for the Panthers, and them having a losing record this season, just having a positive somewhere is just something they need to take and embrace and sort of make it their strength.
I agree. I'm checking out some of these averages, and it seems like individually for the season, the Panthers, they're not that efficient, especially from field goal. I mean, you can add in three-point field goals, but just the overall field goals, they're not that efficient. You don't see many players above 50%. So that means most of the shots they're taking is likely a miss. If you're the coach, how do you think you want to touch that up? How do you want to stay efficient tonight?
Yeah, I'm just looking at their stats. A big reason why a lot of them don't have the best field goal percentages, they shoot a lot of threes, and that is the trend currently. Just that's what the mathematicians tell the NBA players, just shoot more threes is way better math, but sometimes that's just not your strength. Sometimes you got to go into that mid-range or just try to finish over the bigger defenders.
And last week we saw the Panthers, me and Nick, we were watching, and they were actually attacking, but it kind of slowed up in that second half. So you want to stay on it throughout the game. You see that trend with a lot of Panthers where, they come out with a lot of punch. Mm-hmm. They don't exactly maintain it.
Yeah,
the Panthers,
just that stamina, sometimes it gets to them, and
right.
they don't play as well as they did in that first half.
Last game, they lost. They took an L to Farmingdale. We actually interviewed one of the Panthers last week, and they said that their approach was to keep the intensity high, because the last game that we commentated, that OWWR commentated, we saw a lot of physicality. We saw a lot of defense. We saw, especially in the front court, a lot of defense, a lot of full court pressing, and they played like it mattered, especially, I would say, the last 10 minutes, that last fourth quarter. I know there's no quarters, but if you want to say hypothetically that fourth quarter, they turned up the speed.
Yep.
And you want to see that the whole game, because it was a close game and they barely won that game. That could have been a blowout. You know, you want to make it easier on yourself. And just watching them shoot around right now, I'm still seeing some threes.
Yeah.
You know, how do you feel about that? I think that, you know, I think that's what sets the tone. Is like they start hitting a few early, so they think that that's gonna translate into the game. I think you gotta, like you said, stick to your strengths in game.
And like just looking at the last game against Farmingdale, I mean, the Panthers were on a hot streak. They were on a 3-game win streak. Then they went against the tough Farmingdale team. They haven't beat Farmingdale in a long time, so coming into that matchup, I didn't have a lot of faith in the Panthers, and I wasn't exactly wrong. The Panthers lost that matchup 58-91, and the Panthers struggled a lot, especially from that three-point line. They shot 3 of 24, so no good at all from that three-point line.
With teams like that, it's almost like it's a personnel problem, like it's the teams itself and how they're constructed, or how, you know, players are selected. Because, I mean, how do you take 2 L's to that same team in the same season? And the second loss was a bigger blowout than the first one.
Yep.
You know, it's like you didn't learn from the first time. You know, I definitely look forward to seeing the Panthers turn it up this game. You know, bounce back from that loss at home. You know, you're, like I said, you're home. You wanna bounce back.
Yeah, and just looking, the Panthers, they only scored 24 points in the paint that game, and the Farmingdale Rams, they scored 48. So that's exactly double the amount of points in the paint. So I just think the Panthers, they have to be a lot better in securing the paint.
The Mariners, we're still waiting on them to show themselves. But 5 more minutes until our
live game coverage, you know, until that they do that national anthem they do every game, and then we go right into that matchup.
Right. And it's funny, it's like right as I said that about the Mariners, they showed up, right? They summoned themselves. And right now, I'm looking at the Panthers. It seems like Panthers have that size advantage. It seems like they have that height advantage. So like you said, you want to see them go to the paint. They didn't really go to the paint against the Farmingdale Rams, or it seems like it didn't really work. So times like this, you want to just take advantage of the advantages you have. You want to use that height, get rebounds, get physical down low. The other team's going to try and get physical with you, but that's how they get into foul trouble.
Yep, and like our friend Ryan always does, what's 3 tips you're looking for towards the Panthers that you think they need to win this game?
3 tips. So, like I said before, the defense in their last home game was very intense, and especially at the end of the game, they definitely kept up that same mentality. I want to see that come back again. I want to see that happen again. I don't want to see them get fazed by Farmingdale's loss or Farmingdale's win against them.
Yep.
The second thing I want to see, I kind of alluded to this before, rebounding. I think having the height, you closer to the rim, get on the rim, get the ball back. You know, give yourself more opportunities to score. You know, you take away chances from the defense, you know. I think that's useful. For the third thing I want to see the Panthers do, call better timeouts. You know, sometimes the other team goes on a run and you don't stop that run. You keep letting that avalanche fall.
Yeah.
You don't want to allow them to keep scoring on you. You want to make some adjustments whenever you can, make some substitutions or just whatever coaching adjustments you need to make. I think, yeah, like when you see them hit 2-3 layups in a row, you got to call a timeout. Yeah. Just because something's wrong with the defense. There's a lapse somewhere.
Yeah,
they're taking advantage.
I agree entirely. And for my 3 tips, I think the first one would be have the ball in the point guard's hands. The Panthers, you know, they really struggle with their turnovers, and usually it's because the point guard simply doesn't have the ball. So I think my first thing would be having the point guard handle the ball.
Right.
And my second thing is not forcing three-pointers. The Panthers, they like to force three-pointers. They like to shoot that three ball a lot, even though they aren't the best three-point shooting team at all. So I think just not forcing shots, shoot if it's open, but if it's not, try to drive in, force a foul, try to get in that paint and get to that free throw line.
I did notice last game that OWWR commentated Josh Mint, he was lights out, and his three-point shooting was great. And hey, go figure. You look at his three-point percentage. He's the highest three-point shooter on the team, or at least one of them. Yeah, he is the highest. And you should rely on guys like that to just play in their role. He should be the main guy taking more threes than everyone else. He should be the one going towards that three-point line. But I think you see Jermaine King, the point guard. He brings the ball up a lot, and he likes to make plays. He likes to let his other teammates get involved. But I want to see him shoot the ball a little more, actually. I want to see him attack the defense more. I feel like when the point guard is attacking the defense offensively, trying to score, it kind of keeps them on their toes. They're not really expecting that pass every time. If they're expecting you to pass it, they're not worried about you.
Exactly. Just how always
you make yourself a threat.
Court.
Yeah, exactly. You make yourself a threat. You know, they have to guard you a certain way.
Yeah, and just looking at the Mariners last game, they lost a really close game. They lost by 1 point against the St. Joseph Long Island team. And Jack Flannery, he scored 30 points, his career high, on 9 of 16 shooting. But that just simply wasn't enough to get his team over that edge. And just looking at the minutes, he played 38 minutes. So that's almost the entire game minus 2 minutes of break. So I know that, we know that he's a player that can play the entire match. So they're going to have to put a really good defender on him and try to stop him from getting another career high.
Right, and it's funny you mentioned the Mariners and how they like to compete. They're honestly not that good of a three-point shooter as well, or a three-point shooting team as well. You see, I mean, none of them really shoot above 30% from three. And that's very shocking. You see multiple players with, 40 attempted threes, 30 attempted threes on the season, and, they're still below a decent average.
I mean, it just looks like both teams struggle from that three-point line, so let's just see which team takes the dumber shots, I guess. Which team is more willing to live or die by that three-point line.
Well, you heard it here, folks, and the energy is building and rising. The players, they're getting ready. We'll be back for the first half in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us for all the action at OWWR, Old Westbury Web Radio. And we're underway here in the first half. The starting lineups are actually still being announced, but right now you have Jermaine King Jr. as the point guard for the Panthers. Joel Ofori will be the center. Number 31, Imol Akinwe. Number 33, Yagit Balta. And Christian Thomas. Yeah, so that's the starting lineup for the Panthers. And everybody's getting on the court, they're getting in position, getting ready for the tip.
And for the Mariners, we have number 13, Colin Hart. Then you have number 2, Mason Laverne. Number 3, you have Richard Skies Jr. Number 32, you have Jack Flannery, the Mariners' leading scorer. And for number 4, you have Aaron Zalisic.
All right, and the Panthers win that opening tip as Jermaine King drive into the paint. They're trying to look for Christian down low. They get it to him, and he goes up for the layup over the defense. It is no good.
Yeah, and even though the Panthers missed that first bucket, I'm already seeing that they're already taking advantage of switches and mismatches. You had Joel Ofori. He had a shorter player under the rim, and he simply couldn't get it to go, but still a great shot attempt.
And the Mariners, they're looking like a very physical team as number 2, Mason Laverne, he got down low and back down King, got his shot up, and it was good. Now the Panthers, they're looking for some offense right now. They're looking for spark. You see Emo on the wing, gets it over to Christian on top of the key.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot of screens from the Panthers right now, and Joe LaFleur, he's calling for the ball under the rim right now.
And the Panthers, they're trying to make a lot of mismatches, and it seemed like number 33 for the Panthers actually got swiped at no call. Mariners, they went on a fast break and got their layup to go. They actually missed their first attempt, but they got the rebound and got it to go. So it is 4-0. Mariners are up.
Yeah, and both the Mariners' points are from second chance points, so they're missing their first shots, but
they're getting on the glass.
Staying with the ball.
Yeah. And right now the Panthers, they're finding Christian. They get it to him, top of the key. He's now surveying and gets it down low. You get Bolta. Bolta backs down the defender and gets fouled. He'll shoot 2.
Yeah, and great take by Bolta, just being strong with the ball and just trying to force that shot up, and now he's being rewarded with free throws.
With those same screens, it seems like the Mariners are actually switching, and it seems like the Panthers are getting down low, trying to take advantage of these mismatches as Bolta is on the line for 2.
Yeah, and Bolta, he's a pretty decent free throw shooter. He's shooting 50% from that line so far.
It seems like he's about to go 50% as he misses the first. He's going up for the second. And he misses both as Mariners come down with it.
That's a missed opportunity right there by the Panthers, and we know that usually these free throws that they miss come back to bite them.
Right, and Laverne brought the ball up, got it over to number 4, that is Zalisic. And then a bucket comes down for number 3, that is Richard Sykes Jr.
Yeah, and the Panthers are really struggling with the Mariners' just intensity.
Defensively they gotta get it together.
Yeah,
Panthers,
everything looks hard for them right now as they're just looking for an opening.
Panthers, they get the ball over to Christian down low, that's Safari, excuse me. He gets over the layup and it's no good.
Yeah, and you see the Mariners, they don't even have a really tall player on the court, but as soon as they saw Safari under the rim, they doubled him and got the ball right back.
Well, the Mariners, they're putting multiple bodies in the paint as another Mariner goes up for a shot. That is number 4, Zalzik. And Zalzik will go to the line for 2.
Yeah, and
to extend the lead.
When they double you gotta take advantage of that, and Aflori, he wasn't able to take advantage of it right there.
It is 6-0 for the Mariners.
Yeah, and you see Zalzik, he's at the free throw line right now.
And he misses his first. If you're the Panthers, you hope he misses that next one.
Yep.
You want to get on the break and you want to make everything easy.
Exactly.
Those fast break points, those are going to be how you build your momentum.
Yeah, just scoring in transition.
Number 4 takes a shot again, and it was no good. So 4 missed free throws to start the game for both teams.
Yeah, and I think that's something both teams are really struggling at right now. And one of these teams are going to have to be a lot better and try to get those points.
Ofari caught the ball down low, got up a good layup, but it was no good. He'll get fouled and shoot 2. Yeah, it seems like the Mariners, they're definitely a physical team. 2 physical teams going at it, butting heads.
Yeah, and the Panthers, they're just being really aggressive on that end, and they're shooting their 3rd and 4th free throws.
Ofari goes up and knocks down the first free throw for the Panthers, and that is the first point for the Panthers. It is 1-6.
Yeah, and at least they're not staying down. They're just trying to be proactive, getting those points early, because it's going to hurt them a lot in the long run.
So what we saw last week was the Panthers full court pressing and putting a lot of pressure on the offense, and it seems like that's what they're doing right now, and it's working.
Yeah, and the Mariners, they got really confused on that play, and the ball was deflected out right there.
It seems like the Mariners, they got the ball poked out, but they will be inbounding in the backcourt.
Yeah, and the Mariners, let's see if they struggle with this full court press.
And the Mariners, they're finding the ball, finding different players to get to. Nobody's open. Number 13, he's trying to find somebody, gets it to number 2, Laverne. Number 4 takes the shot, and it is good.
Yeah, Zalisic, and that jumper looked really smooth from him. I think that shot might be his bread and butter. He looked really comfortable taking that one.
And they extended the lead up 7 points, so it is now 9-2 for the Mariners.
Yeah, and the Panthers, they got to start going now.
And King takes a long two, no good, very contested. Christian open for three, though, off the offensive rebound. Ofari gets another rebound, but he loses it. Mariners, they're trying to push the pace right now. Number 13, that is Hart. Gives it over to Laverne, top of the key.
Yeah, and the Mariners, they're making their shots from three. They're making their shots at the rim. They're not really struggling right now.
And Hart goes up with a difficult layup, scoop layup, it was no good. Christian on a fast break, one-on-one, but seems like gets swiped at, and it will be off the Panthers.
Yeah, and it didn't feel like he really had control on that fast break right there.
Loses the ball, and it's funny, it looked like the Mariners actually swiped at it, but it still came off of his fingertips, it seemed like.
Yeah.
Laverne pushing the pace heavily down into the paint, and the Christian for the Panthers sends a layup back.
Yeah, and great block by him, just making sure he's a presence in that paint.
Right, as you see, the Mariners, they got the offensive rebound, and they're still trying to survey at the perimeter. And finally, 32 gets it down into the paint. That is Jack Flannery. He took a hard hit down low.
Yeah.
Slow to get up, but he's on his feet.
Yeah, and it looked like Ofari. He was just trying to be a rim protector right there, try to prevent that ball from getting up, but the ball didn't make it that far.
And Christian Thomas will be inbounding for the Panthers.
Yeah, and the Panthers, it looks like they're going to have to go through this full court press as well.
Substitutions are being made for the Mariners.
Yeah, and it looks like both teams are
actually going into a timeout. Exactly.
I think the ref is just going over the time and stuff like that. But
okay, so
I think both teams are going to use it as a timeout.
Yeah, so while the Panthers are huddled up, they're down 7. It seems like they're trying to enforce it in the paint, but it's not really working. So what do you switch up the game plan right now, or do you stay at it?
I think they stay at it. I think what they're doing right now is really good. They're just not being able to convert the points. Ofari had a smaller player on him, but I don't think he didn't realize that the double team was coming soon. So it caught the Panthers by surprise, that double team. But I think if they want to win, keep doing what they're doing, and Ofari, he's just gonna have to find that open man, because if you're doubled, there's an open man somewhere.
I agree. Offensively, yeah, they have to stay attacking the paint, but defensively, what do you think they need to sharpen up as they inbound it?
Just being strong on the boards. They just the Mariners, they have a lot of second chance points, and the game already started.
And Emo dribbled the ball up, got it over to Jermaine King, and Jermaine King goes up for a layup. It was contact, and there was no call. Ofari gets the rebound and puts it back in. That was a surprising no call right there.
Yeah, and Ofari, he just stayed with the ball right there, and he was able to get a second chance point right there.
And the Panthers, they're really pressing this offense right now.
Yeah, and the Mariners, they're not really having the biggest problem with it right now.
And I really like how the Panthers look right now. Everybody's moving, everybody's waving hands. Mariners, they try to get up a shot. No good, but offensive rebound is taken, and it was swiped away by Jermaine King. And now he is on a fast break. He goes up for a layup. It is no good. Ofari with the follow, and it's good.
Yeah, and Ofari, he's going really strong on these boards right now, and he's closed the lead to only 3 points.
And Christian Thomas's defense is definitely making the Mariners uncomfortable, and it's working.
He's being a pest right now, and it's helping the Panthers.
Number 32, that is Flannery, takes a shot, is no good. Ofari comes down with it.
I think Flannery can make that shot, so he didn't make it that time, but I think the Panthers have to be a lot better on that end. And just don't let him get comfortable.
Right, that was that same left wing shot that you talked about earlier from Aaron. And, yeah, you definitely got to watch out for that. As the Panthers, they go up with a pull-up mid-range. It was no good. Follow is no good by Ofari. He's bringing down a lot of the rebounds. He just needs to convert.
Yeah, he's not getting enough air on those putback attempts. And
still great defense by the Panthers, even knowing that he was kind of late to the contest. They tried to follow it with offense. They tried to get on the fast break. The first layup by Emo, no good. Christian followed it, and Thomas got the layup to go.
Yeah, and the Panthers, they already closed the lead to 1 single point.
Right, that's how you bounce back out of a timeout.
Yeah, and I think it's because the adjustments they made, I think they got a little taller.
And Christian goes up with the layup on the fast break after a steal. Once again, his defense has brought them back into this game 100%. Along with the activity that you see from everyone else, they definitely seem more awake, more aware.
Yeah, and I just think he plays a lot fast pace on both sides. Like on the defensive side, he's a real pass. His hands are real fast, and on the offensive side, he's always running to that rim trying to get a foul drawn or something.
And Thomas goes up with his third free throw, or actually no, that was his first free throw of the game, and it was a miss. But he has 2 points on the board. You also look at Ofori. Ofori has 6 points on the board. Also has 6 rebounds to add on. So you can see the trend following with this game. And like we mentioned earlier, that height advantage, Ofori being the biggest on the court, it makes sense that he's getting all these rebounds. Christian goes up, makes his second free throw, and it is now a tied game. So if you're the Mariners, you should probably call a timeout. Something. You should do something, make some adjustment. But as you can see, they don't change anything.
I think one more Panther bucket, and that coach might have to call that timeout, because it looked like the game was all Mariners, and then in a span of a few minutes, the Panthers got right back.
As the Mariners, number 3, that is King Jr., he got up, and it was somewhat of an easy layup.
Yeah. Sykes Jr., he split that defense, and he got right to the rim. It didn't have a lot of pressure.
Right. Looking at Ofori. Ofori caught the ball at top of the key and tried to find the cutting Jermaine King, and it was a hit to the face. He fell.
Yeah,
a little shaken up, but he's
just a little.
Yeah, but he's quick to get up, quick to get back into the action.
Yeah, now the Panthers looking for who's going to inbound the ball, and it's going to be number 14.
Inbounding from right under the basket, gets it over to Christian, and Christian makes a bad pass. And Laverne, he's running away with it, but the defense gets set right in front of him.
Yeah, and that's the Panthers' 4th turnover. So in the pregame, I was talking about I wanted them to limit their turnovers, and now it seems like they're going back to their old selves. And
Aaron Zelzik, he got a second bucket of the game that time. He drove and spin. Got the shot up, and it was good. And it is now 13 points to 9. What was once a tied game is now a 4-point game in 2 possessions. If you're the Panthers, you definitely have to stay intense on defense this entire game, even if the offense isn't flowing.
And the Panthers, King Jr., he's using screens, but I feel like the screens aren't really causing advantages right now, as they're not getting the smaller player to guard that center.
And that was a really good move as King got past his defender. He had an open mid-range, but it didn't go down. He now has the ball again with the same defender on him. Like you mentioned about the screens, they actually switched that screen, so defender stayed in front of him. King with the ball again. He just shoots it this time, and it's great. Great confidence, great follow-through, great stroke.
Yeah, and I think he got into his rhythm. He got his dribble pull-up, and he was real comfortable taking that shot. And I think that was a fault by the Mariners, just letting him get comfortable and just giving him space.
And like I mentioned earlier, as a point guard, sometimes you need to shoot that. Sometimes you need to put that pressure on the defense. As the Mariners, they're looking for a cutter. They're looking for a lane to get through, and it is cut off. They tried to bail themselves out with a three-pointer. It was no good. Went out of bounds. So Panthers will be inbounding.
Yeah, and it looks like the ref is calling a foul on that rebound attempt right there.
But we're trying to figure out whose ball it is. It seems like it'll be Mariners.
Yeah, and the Mariners, they've had a lot of possessions now, and they just got an open bucket right there.
They just got an open bucket. If you're the Panthers, you have to stay locked in. If I was the coach, I'd call a timeout right there. You cannot allow that. He was right next to the rim on the baseline and just had an open layup right near the inbound. And King comes off the screen.
Yeah, and it looked like he got his mismatch right there.
Right, Ofori gets the layup to go, like you said, on that mismatch.
Yeah, and I think that's something the Panthers need to continue, just forcing that mismatch and having those smaller guys guard the bigger Panther players.
And the Mariners, they call their timeout. It is 10 minutes left in this half, 15-14. Mariners have that 1-point lead, but they want to maintain that lead.
Yeah, and I think a big reason why the Panthers were able to overcome that hump and just get right back into this game in that quick of a time is their rebounds. They have 14 rebounds against Actually, they have 13 rebounds against the Mariners' 9, so they were able to get those second chance points that they weren't getting in that beginning few minutes, and now they're only down 1 point.
What I do like about the Panthers offense is they are sticking to their guns. They are sticking to what's good about their offense. You don't see too many three-point attempts. I think the only three-point attempt that you should really seen is from Jermaine King that he hit top of the key. And that's what you want. You want the right shooter shooting. I'm waiting to see if Josh Minton comes in the game. He had a knee brace on, but we're still seeing if that game-time decision happens. If he gets on the court, you want to see him take some of those threes too. And I think having some diversity in your offense, having different areas where you're strong, that also helps you. That also makes the defense on their heels, and it makes you unpredictable.
Yup. And as the Panthers come back out, I want to see them get some more free throws, but actually make them this time.
And like you see, Josh Mint is being subbed in for Christian Thomas, so they're subbing in the three-point shooting for the defense. Seems like.
And I don't think the ref is going to allow them to make that adjustment.
Yeah, the ref just did a hand gesture to make him sit down. That was interesting.
And it looks like the ref is talking with the player right now.
Yeah, it seems like teams are going back into their huddles, and we're waiting to see what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, I think the ref is allowing him to come in now. And
well, while we wait, we want to tell our listeners to follow us on social at OWWR NY. Catch us online at OWWRNY.org. Finally, the Mariners, they get the ball and they are inbounding. They are bringing it up the court. Josh Mint is in the game. That substitution will occur. And the Mariners, they're looking for a spark. They're looking for a way to extend their lead. And they throw the pass right out of bounds. That was Aaron Zelzik, and he's made some plays. He's made some good plays this game, but that was not one of them.
Yeah, and the Panthers are finally forcing the Mariners to make some turnovers, and now the Mariners, they have 2 turnovers on the game.
Right, Jermaine King Jr., he's bringing the ball up. He's surveying. He's looking for somebody open. Gets it over to number 10. That is Taylor Jr., Latimer Taylor Jr. He catches the ball again at the top of the key, swings it over to Jermaine. Jermaine looking for a screen from Ofori. Swings it over to Josh. Josh for 3. It's off, way off. But it comes off the Mariners, and the Panthers will inbound it under the basket.
Yeah, and Josh Minton, he is their leading three-point percentage player, so I think their team wants him to take those shots, but maybe not from that range.
Right, I also think he just needs... I'm pretty sure he can be more accurate. I think that's one of those warm-up shots as the shot clock runs down and Jermaine King throws up another 3, and the buzzer sounded. It was no good.
Yeah, I think that 3 right there wasn't able to hit the rim and reset the shot clock.
It seemed like they had to rush a shot as there was no real shot clock to be made do with.
Yep, and the Mariners are just passing the ball around, just a little bit of off-ball movement from their team, trying to cause some advantages right now.
And it seems like a foul is called on the Panthers. That will be on Josh Mint.
Yeah, and the Panthers, they haven't been too handsy. They only have 3 fouls so far in this first half.
And it seems like once again the Mariners, they're looking for those lanes to the hoop, and those little backdoor cuts, those little slips, and right there you see one of those lanes get taken, and a putback is also attempted. Neither shot goes. Panthers, they come down with it. They're off to the races. King gets to the lane quickly and gets swiped at by 2 defenders.
Yeah, and I think that was a good foul by the Mariners right there. If they didn't foul, that would have been an easy layup.
That's right. And that was good awareness by King to notice that the basket was wide open. So he just fought to get there and got his foul call. He'll be inbounding as no shot was attempted. They get it to Ofori, who is easily open down low. That is the type of advantages you want to take.
Yeah, and good job by Rush Kouassi just being able to cut and just get right under that rim. And the Mariners just weren't able to get a defender there in time.
Right, that almost looked like Ofori to me. the way he's been scoring and rebounding. As the Mariners, they're looking for an open three and takes one, but it was no good. They're still looking for that same spark coming out of a timeout.
Yeah, that spark they had in those first beginning moments, but now those threes that they were making, they're not going in no more. Those layups, those cuts, it's just not working. The Panthers, they know their game plan now.
And the Panthers, they have to look around right now. There's some options. Yeah, they have to look for some options right now as King goes up for the mid-range and it's good. Top of the key mid-range. It seems to be very reliable for him.
Yep, and King Jr., he has taken a lot of shots, but I think a lot of them were at the end of the shot clock, and he hasn't been able to get real good shots because he is getting those like grenades, but I think he's been playing really good this game.
Right. And when you say grenades, you mean like those end of the shot clock shots that you got to rush up.
Yep.
That's right. As King brings down the ball and he's surveying the court, he's looking for some options. He's looking for some players that could make it happen. And they're swinging the ball over to get it over to Josh Mint.
Yep, and the Panthers, they're moving a lot.
Right. Emo now has it. Gets it right over to the big. And it is good for number 10. That is Latimer Taylor Jr.
Yeah, and the Panthers, they're actually being big in this game now. They're getting in that paint, and they're
right.
taller than a lot of the Mariners. So now they have a lot of points in the paint.
The Mariners right now, they'll be inbounding. It is 20-15. 7 minutes left in this first half. Panthers are up by 5. Great turnaround from the start that they initially had.
And all we need is for them to continue doing this because, you know, they play really strong in that first half, but they usually collapse around that second half.
And number 21 for the Mariners, that is Noah Brown. He missed that 3, and the Panthers came down with it. And what I notice is the Panthers, but King specifically, likes to really slow down the pace of the game and really just make things happen, but slowly though. He's not an immediate scorer as he takes that shot and misses it.
Yeah, and that might be a big reason why they usually struggle to find a shot at the end of the shot clock.
I agree. As Flannery brought up the ball, he hands it over to number 3, Sykes. Sykes gets the layup to go. Well, no, he tried to get the layup to go. It was no good.
Yeah, and the Mariners, they're really trying to get in that paint, but they're just doing it against the wrong team. The Panthers are just a lot taller than them, and what they were trying in their previous games just might not work this game.
Right, and Emo, he takes his 3, and it is no good. Went out of bounds. Mariners, they make their substitution. They bring Aaron Zelzik back in.
Yeah, and Akinwale, he missed that 3-point shot, but I think I'm comfortable with him taking those shots because he's shooting around 36% from that 3-point line, and that's one of the better ones of the team. So he was open, he just couldn't get it to drop. So
I agree. I think it was Emo who had a great game last week, and he was everywhere pretty much. He was getting steals, he was getting fast break layups, he hit an open 3. So you definitely want to see that type of energy from him and let him get comfortable so he could just get involved as well. Yeah. I think when you have certain players that are isolated, they're not really involved, they're not getting the ball as much, yeah, you'll see them when there's time for them to have to produce, they don't really produce as well because they're not as involved. You can't just expect someone to just plug in and play all the time, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And I think the Panthers have done a really good job of just not forcing that 3-point shot. They've only taken 4 3-pointers this half so far, and it's been almost 14 minutes, so a lot better than most of their past games where they just shoot a lot of 3-point shots and they just shoot a really horrible 3-point percent.
It's interesting. Field goal wise, these teams are very similar. And I mean, the Mariners, they're taking a lot more 3s, and I think that's just because of their size advantage. What we keep mentioning, they can't really get to the paint like that. They're trying to, but it's not really working, so they have to settle for some jumpers. But the Panthers are getting to the paint. They're getting to the line, and honestly, that's what's been working for them. As the Mariners, they bring the ball up, and it's number 32, Flannery, gives it over to number 21, Noah Brown. They now swing it over to number 20. That is Talon Dawkins. Dawkins, a legendary name. As a 3 is shot by number 3, no good. and the Panthers hustling for it. They get it. Emo on the fast break. Goes up for the lay. A lot of contact. No good. Gets an offensive rebound, and Christian gets it to go.
Yeah, and that ball was, I don't know who had the hand on the ball, but Christian, he ended it.
That's right. Thomas, he's bringing a lot of physicality, a lot of rebounding, a lot of defense, and it's working. It's getting them points.
Yeah, and Christian, he's back at that free throw line, and he did go 1 for 2 in the previous trip, so let's see where he goes this time.
And I like that the Panthers coach gave Christian some rest, because high energy guys like that, you want them to be available. You want them to give you the most of what they can bring. So just having him at 100%, and he comes back into the game, and that's what he does. You see, that's how it works.
Yep, and Christian Thomas, he's able to get that and 1 to go, and
the Panthers, they're applying that pressure right now. They're running the zone defense, and the Mariners, they had to shoot over the zone. And that was Flannery, Jack Flannery. He got his 3 to go. That was his second field goal of the game.
Yeah, and the Panthers, they've done a really good job of just containing Flattery, but he got that easy 3-pointer to go, and now
he missed his first 2 initially, but he had to get warmed up. It seems like he hit that one. And Emo right now, top of the key, he's surveying, looking for an opening, finds one. Gets the ball, number 12, Joel Ofori. Gets the ball over to King, who is in the corner. He steps back. He passes it. He did have an open shot right there.
I thought he probably should have took that one.
Oh, you see Emo with an ankle-breaking shot. He tried to take a 3, and the buzzer went off for the shot clock. The ref called the shot clock violation, so no shot will count. But what a move. He had that defender on the ground. I didn't know what to say right there. I was a little in shock.
Yeah, and it feels like the Panthers are really struggling to just get their offense off and the 30-second shot clock.
Yeah. But
they
their
are
defense
still winning this game.
And their defense is working. As you see them, they're running the zone again. And right now, the Mariners, they're trying to look for some openings in between the zone, and they're running into the middle of it. That's not how you beat it. And Mariners are swinging it around. Number 32, Jack Flannery, he goes up over 2 defenders and gets fouled. So he will shoot 2 free throws.
Yeah, Flattery, he saw his team is down, and now he's being a lot more aggressive, and he already has 7 points, and he's able to get his 8th and 9th maybe right now.
It seems like he is that scoring type player that's just his mentality, is just to get to the rim or just to get the shot up over the defense, as he takes his first free throw and makes it.
Yeah, Flannery, he didn't look as comfortable in that beginning, but now he does.
Takes his second free throw, and it was good. So it is now 23-20 for the Panthers. Emo is bringing the ball up. He has Flannery on him. He's pointing, he's looking, he's directing traffic. Trying to find Ofori down low on the block. Gets it over to Josh, swings it over to Christian. They're swinging it all around the world. And they get a floater to go from number 14, Stefan Roche. And yeah, they definitely should go to their bigs more often, because it's just working.
Exactly. When they're going to Roche, he's getting all of those mismatches to go. He's really punishing the Mariners, and when they try to force layups with the smaller guards, it's not really working out for the Panthers.
Ooh, and a great steal by Emo. The Panthers, they're everywhere right now, and fast break kind of gets slowed down by the defense, but they're still looking, and they call an offensive foul on Stefan. That was interesting.
Yeah, I didn't really agree with that play.
It seems like he just fought for his position and won the battle. That's what it seemed like to me.
Exactly, but I just think probably the Mariner players sold it a little right there.
I agree. I love what the Panthers are doing, especially the last 3 to 5 minutes. They're up in the physicality. They're getting on the boards. They're getting in the paint. They've been in the paint the whole game.
Yeah, and I think they're just really playing to their strengths right now. And I just hope they continue doing that the entire game. But just looking at the stats, it's been a pretty even game for the Panthers. You got Ofori, he has 6 points. Christian Thomas, he has 6 points. King Jr. has 5, and Roche, Stefan Roche, he has 6.
Right, and if you notice, pretty much all of them are attacking that paint, and it's working. as Laverne brings the ball up.
Yeah, the Mariners, they're really struggling with their offense besides number 32, their leading scorer, Jack Flannery.
And he's coming off of the ball right now. He's calling for it. He's trying to make his teammates pass it to him. His teammates, they're trying to make something happen, and he fell through it. It went out of bounds, so Panthers will be inbounding.
Yeah, and I think the Panthers' game plan just to stick Christian Thomas on Flannery is going to be a really good decision.
Right, you put your best defender on the best offensive player. I feel like that only makes sense.
Yeah, no, they weren't able to get the ball to Flannery right there.
And it is 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game. 25-20 for the Panthers as Christian is taking a wide open three. It is good. 28-20 now for the Panthers.
Yeah, and that was a great pass by Stephon right there, and I think the Panthers just playing that double big, always having that height advantage, and got them that easy pass.
And number 20, he took on some tough contact. He pound dribble, went down low. Actually, it was an offensive foul on number 20. That was Taylon Dawkins.
Yeah, and I just think Stephon, he's making a lot of game-winning plays right now, and this game has been a lot of him.
Christian for another open three. It's good. He's on fire right now.
Yeah, Christian Thomas, that's his second three-pointer back-to-back, and now the Panthers see themselves with an 11-point lead.
And we were talking about attacking the paint. You see how the perimeter's opening up now for the Panthers, and they could take advantage. Mariners, they go for a three-point shot. It's no good. The Panthers are on the break. The defense beat the Panthers down, so they look around. Josh goes up for a floater. It's no good.
Yeah, I don't think that was a good bucket by Josh Smith right there, just to try to force that floater. I think he could have found a better source of offense right there.
And the Panthers, they're up 11 points now, 31-20. It is a minute 25 to go in the half. Number 4 for the Mariners, he goes up, no good.
Yeah, and the Mariners, they're really struggling with this double big lineup by the Panthers. Just having Stephon and Joel Lafori both in there is really hurting them.
And it's interesting, they're still trying to force it to the paint because they can't really find any perimeter shots that are good shots. Emo, he's driving, he's getting swiped at by multiple defenders, finds an open man, that is Josh, the leading three-point percentage shooter for the Panthers, and he proves why.
Yeah, and just Panthers, their idea of just having the good three-point shooters take the three-point shots is really working. Not everybody needs to shoot the three-pointers, just those players that can make it.
Right, and that is his first three. That was his second attempt, so he's 50%. The Mariners, they're throwing the ball around the zone. They don't really know what to do. They don't really know what's a good shot for them right now. As the Panthers poke it, they stole his cookies. Why'd they do that? Emo goes up, easy layup on a fast break.
And if I was the Mariners coach, I'd probably call a timeout because...
Yeah, you're letting this avalanche just fall on you as a foul is called on the Panthers. Seems like they manned up in the paint.
Yep.
And the Mariners, they're still attacking. They're still trying to go inside.
Yeah, and just this game has just been all the Panthers in this first half right now. And with 14 seconds left to go, the Mariners, they're at that free throw line, and they could cut this lead.
Someone should tell the coach that the best way to beat a zone is to shoot over it. I mean, you swing the ball fast enough, somebody's open. I mean,
yeah, and I think Flannery.
You keep somebody in the corner, you keep somebody top of the key, and you'd be all right. But the inbounder, Laverne, he just threw the ball over to the Panthers, and the Panthers go up for a layup. It got stolen. 7 seconds left. Aaron, he had the ball for the Mariners. 3 seconds now. Mariners, they're trying to find a shot. Gets a three off. It's no good at the buzzer. And that will conclude our half of basketball. It is 36-20 for the Panthers here in the Clark Athletic Center. What a fantastic start to this match. We're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere for the OWWR halftime show. Stay tuned for all the action here at OWWR Web Radio. Welcome to the OWWR halftime show, coming to you live from the Clark Athletic Center. The Panthers are up by 16 points, 36-20. Mohammed, what have you seen from the Panthers in the first half?
I think the Panthers were taking really high percentage shots. They shot 14 of 30 from the field, 46%, and they shot 4 of 7 from that three-point line, 57%. So I think this is probably one of the better halves the Panthers have ever had, and they're shooting really good from that three-point line, and that's probably a big reason why they have this lead, 20 to 36.
What would you say your favorite thing about the Panthers has been? Has it been the defense? Has it been the interior scoring, the offensive rebounding? What do you think?
In my opinion, it would just be their three-point shooting. I know in previous games they shoot a lot of three-pointers, and sometimes it's just not the best shot. And I think in this game they made it a priority to take the best shot, and now they're up 16 points and they're shooting 4-7 from that three-point line.
I think bouncing back from that loss that they took against Farmingdale, coming back with this energy, this tenacity on defense especially, and their rebounding, that's what's been key. We pointed out the height mismatch, that height difference between both teams, and you're seeing it more and more as the game goes on. So I look forward to seeing how the Panthers keep attacking. I think you should, like you mentioned in the first half, that double big lineup with Ofori and Roche. That was that lineup. That was the one that was hurting the Mariners like the most. Meanwhile, the Mariners, they face a zone and they don't really know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is also a game of like who's more prepared. I think the Panthers are very prepared.
Yep.
Even they've made about 1 or 2 substitutions this whole half, but they've been very prepared. I think you look at the Mariners, their best player or their best offensive player, Aaron Zelzik, he's attacking, but not enough. I feel like if he got started earlier, you would see more of him. I think his teammates got to do a better job of getting him the ball. Sykes, he's going for a lot of shots, but it's not really working for him.
Yeah, Sykes, I noticed he's 2 for 9, and I think a lot of that was because he's been trying to force a lot of rim pressure. I just think he keeps going to the rim, and it's not working out for him. And even though it's not the best shot for him right now, he just keeps continuing to do it, expecting a different outcome, but he keeps on missing. I
noticed Noah Brown, their point guard, or their point guard who they subbed in at one point, he kept shooting the threes, but it wasn't really going. Like, okay, right here it says he's over 2. And I feel like they wanted him to make those shots. Like, he had the open ones, and he wasn't making them. I think you see Flannery and Zelzik, they're the two that should be getting the ball the most. And if you're the Panthers, you know, putting Thomas on Flannery, that was a very good decision to make. His intensity, he's been getting steals, he's been in the half court, he's been full court pressing as well. I think it's important that he exerts his energy on defense exclusively. He still will bring the offense, and that's great too. But I think his offense is coming off of that interior attention. You know what I mean? The Panthers, they're going to the paint a lot, so they're leaving guys open because the defense, they got to guard up on the paint.
Yeah,
they're not worried about the perimeter.
He's feeding off that defensive intensity and it's translating to that offensive game. And now he's even making his three-pointers, and he's 2 for 2.
Word.
And those are real timely buckets that I think is a big reason why the Panthers have so much momentum and we're able to get this lead so high.
I'm also looking at the rebounding advantage. The Panthers have 11 more rebounds, 3 more offensive rebounds. Yeah. So I think that just all around, like I mentioned before, they're just more prepared, it seems like. They're just getting at it better. I think the Mariners coach isn't calling the right timeouts. I think, you know, you allow the Panthers to go on this run where it was at one point tied. Now you're down 16. They got on this run and you didn't really stop it.
Yeah, I think he probably should have been a lot quicker with that timeout, but he probably expected his players to just play more aggressive, but they don't seem as aggressive.
Right. I'm looking at Roche. Roche is 3 for 3. Thomas is 4 for 5. So the Panthers, I mentioned earlier before the game that they're not too efficient of a team, but tonight they are. Tonight they're getting at it.
They look 14 real efficient today.
Yeah, they're 14 for 30, so that's really good for overall field goal. I think that they got to stay at it, and they've only taken 7 threes. and that's been mostly open ones or just at the end of the shot clock ones, I think you got to stick to that. You got to stick to that. You can't stray away from it. That's usually what they tend to do. They'll come out of halftime and they get comfortable. You can't do that. You got to come with that same mentality until it's a real blowout, even when it's a real blowout.
Yeah, and the Panthers, it seems like in that beginning, when they were down, I think the Panthers coach, he made an adjustment, subbed out some players, subbed some players in, and the game changed completely. So if you're the Panthers coach, are you starting the second half with those starters that started the first half, or are you starting the second half with those players that made that run?
I'm starting it off with that same double big lineup that we mentioned earlier that they've been attacking with.
Yeah, with Stephon and Ofori.
Right, because the rebound is too different. It's too differential, or it's too big of a differential, I should say.
Yeah.
I think the game is being decided off of the rebounds. You're giving yourself more opportunities. Not only that, when they get the ball and they rebound, they're wide open for that layup. It's not like anybody's fighting for it or somebody's in front of them. They just got in position and they took advantage.
Yeah, and I think if the Panthers, they continue this double big lineup and it continues to go, they might even have to make some switches in the starting lineup. Who knows? But I'm just thinking this reminds me a lot of that Houston Rockets team of, Sengun and Steven Adams. They were a really good double big lineup team, and they won a lot of games just based off their rebounding ability.
Right, and it's about playing a role too, understanding where to be on the court, what position to be, not being in the way. You understand you need to rebound, but you can't just sit under the paint the entire time. You're going to camp the lane. So staying in good positioning, that matters a lot. And right now, it's 5 minutes, 30 seconds left. Panthers out here shooting around. They're ready. Mariners, we're still waiting on them. It seems like a few of them are coming out. Yeah, it seems like the team is starting to come out to shoot around. And we'll see how they bounce back.
Yeah,
if you're the Mariners coach,
that's what I'm really wondering.
Yeah,
I just want to see how they respond.
If you're the Mariners coach, I wonder what he's going to say, because I would tell them I would tell them, especially Laverne, who's number 2. I would tell Laverne, hey, you got to get the ball at 32. You got to get the ball to Flannery, and especially on that left wing, where the zone, you swing the ball over to the right wing, you get it back, and you get it over to Flannery. That should be an open shot because of the way the zone is rotating. It should be somewhat of an open shot.
Yeah, and if I'm the Mariners, I agree with you. I want to play through my best player, because your best player is usually the player who causes the most advantages anyway. So,
right.
For Flannery, he's just that good of a three-point shooter. I think his pump fakes might cause a lot of disadvantages.
And the coaching staff is going to tell the Panthers, hey, you have to play up on him. You have to guard him a certain way, throw different defenders at him. And that's where you take the defense, the defensive attention, it goes on to him. Now you have other guys that's open, similar to what the Panthers are doing.
Yeah, but I feel like for the Panthers, they usually have to suffer first before they really make that change. So
right,
I could see Flannery making a couple threes out this second half, and then that's when they finally decide to play real good defense on him.
Yeah, I'm looking to see how these players are shooting around right now. Being a part of the broadcast, just having to, block shots as well.
Yep.
Protect the equipment.
And just looking at their timeout, the Mariners, they're making a lot of their three-point shots, and they just look a lot more comfortable. So I can't wait to see what happens coming into the second half.
Right, and I'm looking at the Panthers. I noticed the Panthers actually have a lot of players on the bench, but they don't really come in the rotation as often. If you're one of those players, how are you gonna, how do you learn from being on the bench, being not really getting play time? You think that would affect your mental to some capacity?
I think it depends on the players. Some players, they might just take the experience in and just see what's working, see what's not working, and try to make it better for themselves. But other players, they might take it as maybe they're not good, and really might affect their playing ability, but I guess it just depends on the player you are.
I agree. I think if you have the right mindset, then you'll probably attack regardless of when you're put into the game or how you're put into the game. As long as the coach plugs you in and says, hey, go play, you're actually going to go out and handle business, do what you got to do. And when you think about how long you're not on the court, that just makes you overall, you're not as good as a teammate. You're not helping out your teammates. You're not being there for the team itself. You're being very selfish. I think being one of those guys that you don't get many minutes, you should still be in shape. You should still be ready to play. You never know. Somebody might get injured. It might be a blowout where you get a chance to play. You get the chance to prove something. I think you just got to have that right approach, like you said.
Yep, and the second half is almost 2 minutes to go. What I'm expecting for the Mariners is just, I want to see a lot more shot attempts for number 32, Jack Flannery. I really want them to play through their best player and just see what comes out of that.
I agree.
Something I also want to see is what they were doing in the beginning of the first half, just how they were able to defend the bigs, was sending double teams and making the bigs play make and see if they make the best decisions. And I think Stefan Kouassi, he was making a lot of those good decisions in the first half, but I think if you continue to pressure those bigs, they're bound to make some mistakes.
Yeah, so I'm honestly anticipating what the Panthers coach is going to do as well, because I noticed that sometimes they do make those little adjustments even after halftime, even when they're up. But it could be those adjustments that mess up the flow of the game.
Yep.
So as it climbs down to 30 seconds left for this halftime show, the Panthers are getting ready, returning to the court. We're still waiting on the Mariners. But don't go anywhere, because the second half begins right after this. Here we go into the second half, and right now the score is 38-23 for the Panthers. The Mariners, they hit a three in the corner to start the second half. The Panthers, they had a layup to go, and now the Mariners, they are bringing the ball up off that zone, and King gets the steal, passes over to Emo, and Emo gets a fast break layup. It is now 40-23.
Yeah, and great hands right there by King Jr., just having his hand all in that cookie jar right there, and he got a steal and got a transition bucket to go with it.
That's right. As the Mariners, they're trying to find an opening on the offense, and they do find one over to number 32 on the wing. That is Flannery, and he gets a shot off the dribble. It is no good. King is trying to get it out of here. Swings it over down court. Emo gets a layup to go and one.
Whoa, and that was a pretty hard fall, and to be honest, I don't even know who that was on.
It seems like it might be a charge. We don't know. They were in position for a charge, but we weren't sure which way it's going. It seems like it's going to be Marine ball. It seems like it will be an offensive foul. It will be a charge on Emo, but that was a great layup, and that was a great take. I like that. Took the contact, still went up.
Yeah, and I just think the Mariners, they were really smart, just noticing how fierce Akinwale was going in to make that layup right there, and they just knew they could draw easy charge right there, and they get the ball back.
And Laverne, he's getting the ball up, gets it over to Flannery. And Flannery now is open. He pump fakes and tries to pass it. And then the Panthers take it, and then Flannery gets it back, passes over to his teammate. Teammate loses it, gets it back. It's a lot of defense going on. Number 3, first shot. It's no good. Number 3, that will be Sykes. Excuse me, Sykes Jr. Right now, he is 2 for 11.
And the Panthers, I'm just noticing their defense is really strong right now. They're even throwing out some doubles to certain players.
I like that, though. I like this intensity that's coming with the Panthers lineup right now.
Yeah, I think they're making sure that the Mariners, they don't come into the second half expecting easy offense.
Right, as Mariners, they're settling for these threes, and it's not really happening. And right now, out of bounds call on the Panthers. So Mariners will inbound the ball under their own basket.
Yeah, and I think the Panthers are really struggling to just grab these defensive rebounds.
Well, as both teams huddle up, be sure to follow OWWR at OWWRNY on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube. You can subscribe. As the Mariners, they get the ball inbounded. They're passing it all around. Great ball movement. Finds a cutter, and a layup comes out of that. That is great offense. You can't really argue with that.
Yeah, but that's a lot of what the Mariners got their offense from in that first half, just cutting the ball, and the Panthers
Off-ball movement.
sort of shut them down.
Yeah, just running without the ball, and that movement off the ball, that's hard to guard, actually. As King, he's trying to find the shot. They swing it over. Emo, he's trying to now find a shot. Gets past his defender and gets one. It's no good. It will stay with the Panthers, though.
Yep, number 11 by the Panthers, Sakor.
There is 16 and a half minutes left. It is 40 points for the Panthers, 25 for the Mariners.
Yeah, Ahmed Sakor, he was just really strong on that board right there, and he got a foul, and now the Panthers are going to stay with it.
Christian Thomas, top of the key, swings it over to Emo, who is on the left wing. Emo is finding players open, gets it over to King Jr. He steps through for a layup and gets fouled, so he will attempt 2 free throws.
Yeah, and it looked like he was trying to split that defense right there, but he held his hand up high, and the Mariners, they just swiped at it.
He will actually not attempt 2 free throws, and he will inbound the ball. That's interesting. It looked like he was going up for a layup right there.
Yeah, probably in the NBA, that's free throws.
Step through, no call. But King, he actually gets the ball over to Christian, wide open for 3 and no good. Mariners, they now get on the break.
And I think in that first half, Christian Thomas, he was making both his threes, so I think...
Wow. What a block from the Panthers. And that was actually by number 11, who was a player who seemed to be on the bench the entire first half, but he got some minutes in the second half and made it count immediately. As the Panthers, they go for an open 3. It was no good. Christian with the rebound. He's trying to size up. He's trying to look around, find a good pass, find a good opening.
Yeah, and Yajit Balta, he was calling for the ball because he has that smaller player against him, and I think he wants that mismatch.
King Jr. right now, top of the key, trying to find a player, cuts through the defense, gets it to the corner, and the shot is no good by the Panthers as a shot clock violation comes up. I mean, they really need to be aware of their time, their time management. That's also important. You can't give up the possessions.
Yeah, and I feel like that's probably their 3rd or 4th shot clock violation in this game, and even though they are up 15, this could really hurt them in the later run.
As the Mariners, they're going to huddle up, as the Panthers also go to huddle up. What do you think these coaches could be discussing right now as 5 minutes go by into the half?
Yeah, I think the ref, he's probably talking about just adding more time on the clock as they got a shot clock violation. But if I'm the coaches, I would probably say, I mean, they did score a lot of their points from that double big in that first half, and I don't think they really played that double big of Fori and Stefan.
It seems like they're trying to replicate that with Yagib Balta, and that seems to be number 11 Ahmad Sakor. And right now, I like how Ahmad is playing, or at least that block that he got early on. That was a momentum stopping block. You needed that.
Yeah.
And the Mariners, they get the ball across half court. That is Laverne with the ball. He gets it over to number 13. That is Hart. That is Colin Hart, to be exact. They're finding the ball over to Aaron. Aaron swings it over to Sky, and Sky is just no good. King gets the rebound. Point guard dribbling up, surveying the court. Gets it over to Yagib Balta.
Yeah, and I'm just noticing number 32 for the Mariners, Flannery, he's not really getting the ball on the offensive side of things, and I think that's a big reason why the Mariners offense just looks so bad.
And Yagib Balta goes up for a layup, gets blocked, but gets it back and gets the layup to go. And it's funny, I saw a few times on that possession, King Jr. seemed to be like open for a shot, and he didn't really take it. I think you can't really hesitate, especially at this point in the game. You're up 17 points. You have to be confident in your shots to extend the lead. As the Mariners, they take an open three in the corner. It's no good. And now they take another one, and it falls through. That was Flannery. He got that lucky bounce.
And I think that's exactly who you don't want to make those shots and sort of get into that rhythm.
Right. That's Emo. He's looking around. Finds number 11. That is Ahmad. And it seems like he stepped out of bounds right there on the baseline. Oh, it seems like
Yeah, it seems like it looked like he went out of bounds, but I think they're probably calling a foul on a Mariner player, just sort of pushing him out of bounds.
Timeout will be called by the Mariners. It is 13 minutes and 50 seconds left in the game. And if you're the Panthers, you can maintain this lead. So how would you do so?
I think just keep doing what they're doing. Just keep fighting for those rebounds. Keep having your best three-point shooting shoot those three-point shots like Christian Thomas and King Jr. Just those two players have been really good just making those threes, and they haven't been as good making those three-point shots in the second half. They're 0-2 from the three-point line, but I think keep shooting those open shots and the rest are going to fall.
I agree. I'm looking at the percentages from field goal. The Mariners only have 28% on their field goal, but on their attempts. That is the definition of inefficient.
Yeah, and I think the Panthers, they haven't been as good in the second half as they were in the first.
You get Bolta catches the inbound pass and swings it back over to Emo, who threw the pass. And now King gets it now to Christian, who's open for three. He made his first 2 threes. That will be his third one. What good ball movement from the Panthers, just finding who's open, who can make it, and making it happen.
And I just think Christian Thomas, he's not hesitating on these three-pointers right now, and that's a big reason why he's 3 or 4. He's taking those shots when he has them.
Seems like the Panthers are slowing up on defense a little. They're letting Flannery run around, get open. As the Mariners, they got up a layup. It was blocked. He got it back, and he made the 2 points count. So it is now 45-30 for the Panthers. Emo brings the ball up.
The block is just the first part of it. After the block, you got to find a way to try to get control of the ball. Then it feels like after the block, sometimes the Panthers, they don't really stick with it and try to get that ball. So the Mariners have a lot of second chance points.
And King shoots the 3 that I told him to shoot earlier. He shoots it, makes it. That is his second 3 of the game. And it is now an 18-point game for the Panthers. This is what you want to see. You just take good high percentage shots and makeable shots, and I think you'll maintain the lead easily. It is 12 minutes left in the game, practically a quarter, and the Mariners, they tried to get it down low. It went out of bounds, so the Panthers will retrieve possession.
Yeah, and I think this 2-3 zone by the Panthers is really hurting the Mariners. They don't really know what to do. They don't
really know how to beat it, and it seems like now the Mariners, they're trying to run some type of trap, some type of full court press or a trap, and the Panthers, they're throwing right over it, and they get it down low to Christian, bags down his defender and gets fouled, so he will shoot 2.
Yeah, and Mariners, they just look a lot more engaged on the defensive end, but sometimes you just can't overcome that height, and Christian Thomas, he's really making them pay. And now he's going to go to that free throw line where he's 2 or 3 on the game.
Right, and he's been making his impact in many different ways. You can definitely say he is our Panther player of the game. You can qualify a few players. You could say Ofori. You could honestly say King Jr. You could say Roche, who's coming off the bench and made an impact. Rebounding wise, he had 7 rebounds, 8 points. Overall, this is just an all-around great game for the Panthers. Definitely, they stuck to their brand of basketball, and it's worked. They haven't really gone outside of what they're familiar with. They stuck to their guns, and it's worked. They took advantage of what they needed to take advantage of as Christian makes his second attempt. And there's now 12 minutes on the clock. Mariners, they're trying to find a spark. They're trying to get something going. As Flannery, he's running around. Christian anticipated where he was going to be and blocked off his direction as Laverne takes a 3 and makes it.
Yeah, and if you're the Panthers, you can't let them get those 3-point shots because that's the quickest way for this game to go down to the wire, just letting those teams make open threes.
And the Panthers, they're trying to really run clock here. They're really trying to just let other players hold it, move the ball around, but still finding a good shot. Christian, he made his first three. He pump faked on the three. But then he backs up, traces, and it's no good as the shot clock goes off and a foul is called on the rebound.
Yeah, and did that shot hit rim?
I think it barely hit rim. I think it hit the bottom of the rim. I do think the clock should have reset after that one.
Yeah, definitely should have.
All right, and you see Josh Minton comes in the game for number 11, Ahmad Sakor. So it seems like the Panthers are going for some spacing now.
Yep, it don't look like they're running that 2-3 zone as much as they were in the beginning, and I think that's probably because they have their big Joel Afori. He's in the game, and he's a really big paint presence.
And the Mariners, they attack Christian inside and gets the layup to go. That is number 4 on the layup, Aaron Zelzik.
Yeah, and this league could get close real fast, so I think...
Yeah, it's still 11 minutes left. It's not over. It's nowhere close to over.
Yeah, so the Panthers, they got to keep up that offense that they were doing in that first half. As number 4 for the Mariners, he takes a shot right there, and
Aaron makes it happen. He gets the and one to go as Christian inbounds it.
Yep.
And yeah, so the Mariners, they're running this full court press, but the Panthers are just going to pass over it. It seems like a 10-second call was made, a 10-second backcourt violation was made by the Panthers. And you see the Panthers, they were passing it back and forth sideways. They should be passing it forward up the court so you could beat the clock.
Yeah, they're not playing with no intensity, just trying to get that ball over the half-court line.
I agree. As the Mariners, the ball is on the wing. Now number 3 gets blocked. That was number 3. That was Skies Jr. He's not having the best night.
Yeah, Sykes Jr., he's 3 of 14. And
that was his 15th attempt.
Yeah, and him trying to body that bigger player, it's not really going his way this game.
But Flannery, who's been the main scorer for them, Jack Flannery, he just got an open mid-range. You can't allow him off the inbound to get open. As Josh, he goes for another 3. It's no good. And the Mariners, they hustle for their rebound. It's now an 11-point game as they go on a fast break and get the layup to go. It is now a single-digit game. And if you're the Panthers, you need to regroup here.
Yeah, definitely, and real fast because this game is about a...
And I don't know why they keep picking up their dribble. When you pick up your dribble, you limit yourself. You can't move, especially when you're trying to get across the line, get across half court. You got to move forward. As the Panthers, they're looking around. They're trying to find someone who can take this shot. Seems like King gets through the defense and gets swiped at. They poke the ball loose out of bounds. He'll inbound it. King Jr. will inbound it.
Yeah, and the Panthers, they went away from their double big that they were playing that got them this big lead, and now they're paying for it. This lead has shrunk from 19 all the way down to 9.
The Panthers got to have some awareness here. There's 3 seconds left on the clock. They got the shot to go. Emo, he shoots his 3. It's good. It is now a 12-point game. Getting those 3 points right back.
Yeah, knocking Wiley. He was 0-2 before that 3-pointer, but he didn't let that phase him at all, and now he got his first one to drop.
Right, and a very important 3 to stop the momentum right here. Lavin for 3. For the Mariners, it was no good. Panthers, they're trying to bring the ball up. They do. Emo is surveying. And right now, King Jr. and Emo, they're playing hot potato. They're swinging the ball back and forth right now.
Yeah, I mean, just like you were saying, the Panthers just seems like they're burning a lot of clock the second half.
And Josh shoots another 3. He was open. It was no good. It rolls off the front of the rim. And the Rainers, they're looking for a spark. They're looking for something, anything, just to make it happen. You can't have any real empty possessions at this point.
Yeah, Josh Minton, he's really struggling from that three-point line. He's 1 of 4 in this game.
And a block, or what seemed to be it may have been a block for Ofori, turns into a layup for Emo. He went body to body with the person going up for the layup and hit the ball, and he couldn't make the layup. So I guess you could count that as a block.
Yep.
As the Mariners, they're now trying to make something happen. Down 14, 8 minutes to go.
Yeah, and the Mariners, they're really struggling both Ofori and the paint. They're just not able to get any offense to go.
And that was Laverne. He makes his second three, but he is 3 of 8 right now. So you're the Mariners, you want him to turn it around. And Emo gets past his defender. Josh shoots it again with high confidence. It is no good.
Yeah, Minton, his shot isn't really
and
going
it seems like
his way.
And Jack went up on, seems like that was Jack Flannery. He went up for the layup over a Panther defender, and it seemed like the Panther defender got called for the blocking foul. Honestly, it could have went either way.
Definitely, and I just think that little movement by his feet just to sort of get in position might have been a reason why this is a charge.
Right.
I mean, not a charge, and instead
Right.
A foul on Akinwale.
I agree. As Jack makes his first free throw, he is flawless from the line, 3 for 3. He's trying to go 4 for 4. He does not go 4 for 4.
And then that might have been a little jinx by you.
I hope so. Emo, he called a timeout as
The Mariners, they almost
yeah,
got
Flannery,
away with
that
steal
was a
right
little
there.
Flannery. I don't know if that was a dirty play or what. He tried to steal the ball while he was calling a timeout.
I mean, if the ref doesn't call it, then you're still in the game. I don't blame him. Just in this second half, the Mariners, they're shooting a lot better from the three-point range. They're 4-10. They already have as many three-point attempts as they had in the first half, in the second half.
Yeah, so they're sticking by their guns too, and it seems like over time they've begun to hit some of their shots. And they cut the lead down. What was once a 16-point game is now 10. But it's 7:39 left to go. So you have 7 minutes and 39 seconds to hold off. Defend this lead. I think they have to stop going to Josh Minton. I think they have to make that substitution. I think they have to put Ahmad back in the game and rely on that double big lineup that you referenced earlier. It's been working, and they had a bigger lead with it. They had more control over the game with it. They should continue going with it. I think they want Josh to get into that rhythm, but I don't think it's working, so I think you got to stick to your guns right now.
Definitely, and Josh Minton, he is their leading three-point percentage shooter, but tonight might just not be his night. And
right.
I feel like the Mariners, they're sort of allowing him to shoot. Like, even though in the scout report it might be don't leave him open, he's missing a lot of these shots. So I think I don't know. Would you keep shooting that shot, or would you just sort of make that adjustment?
If I'm Josh, well, I am Josh, I would keep shooting for sure, because I mean that's your specialty. That's what you're good at, and that's why you're here on the court right now. The coach expects you to hit these open shots, and so I would continue taking them. If you don't give yourself a chance to make it, then you're never gonna make it.
Definitely, and it's a lot of stories of shooters just never making their shot, but when clutch time hits, it goes down. And
King, he gets the ball, gets a running fade somewhat down the lane, and it gets down. They're now up 12 points instead of 10, and they're running that zone again.
Yep, that 2-3 zone by the Panthers is just the Mariners. They've been struggling the whole entire match with this.
And the Mariners were trying to see what type of shot they're trying to take. And Laverne, that's his third three, it seems to be. That's his third three to go down, second three of the half. And that's it. That should be a kick ball violation by Flannery.
Yeah, I don't know what took the ref so long on that one, but
yeah, I don't know why he would try to kick the ball.
Yep, exactly. And Laverne and Flannery are the Mariners' best three-point shooters, but they seem to always be getting the open buckets.
And you see Josh Min, he caught the ball on the wing. Instead of shooting it, he made a nice dish down to Christian, who was open down low for the layup, and it is now an 11-point game. for the Panthers.
Yeah, and the Panthers, I think they want this game to end as quick as possible. They're trying to burn as much time as they can.
Flannery goes at the contact and gets the foul.
Yep,
And
Flannery.
if you're OWWR in that situation, how do you play defense though? I mean, he went into you. All you did was put your hands up.
Yeah, I think he probably just has to make it more apparent to the refs. Just have your hands all the way up high, but I think that's probably what he did.
As Flannery hits another free throw, that will be his 4th made free throw out of 5 attempts. And like you mentioned about bringing in different players, a substitution is made for OWWR. Number 14, Stephon Roche, and he's getting some love from the fans out here. It's not so much of a packed crowd here in the Clark Center, but you have some fan attendance, and they're loud.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's enough of a crowd to make a change, sort of cause some fan momentum. So I think I need them to be loud for their players.
Flannery made both his free throws as the Panthers, they're trying to just find some, not quick offense, but some serviceable offense.
Yeah, I think probably the opposite, just some slow offense, just try to burn as much time as possible.
That's right, as 6 minutes goes past on the clock, and a nice three-pointer by King Jr., taking his time with that one as 3 seconds fell to the clock. Shot the 3, it was good.
And a smooth crossover by him, just making sure he shakes his opponent right there and gets that 3 to go.
And the Mariners, they're looking for a 3 to get an open 3 from their best player. It's no good. And they call a travel on the falling Christian Thomas, who fell. That is basketball rule. You cannot fall with the ball.
Definitely.
As Laverne will inbound, number 2 will inbound for the Mariners. As the inbound is caught, and it is 18 seconds left on the clock. Flannery shoots his 3. It is good. It's now a 9-point game for the Mariners.
Yeah, and I feel like no matter the zone, you probably just shouldn't leave their leading scorer open. Jack Flannery, he has 23 points, and he has 4 3-pointers, and I think most of them are pretty open.
And Josh, wide open for 3 in the corner. It's good. Now, I understand he missed his last 3, but I still wouldn't leave him open. Yep. But they chose to, and now they're back down 12 instead of 9.
And exactly what you were talking about. If you're the shooter, keep shooting. And Josh Min, he got that message right there.
Right, as a timeout is called. And Panthers coach, if you're the Panthers coach, should you make any substitutions here, or leave it where it's at? I think you should leave it where it's at.
Yeah, definitely. I think they made their run, and I think he should probably end the game with the team that's going hard, playing strong.
I agree. Seems like OWWR actually will sub in.
Let's see if they bring out that double big lineup to end this game.
With Stephon and OWWR, that would be a great lineup to finish the game with. Secure the rebounds, you secure your paint defense. They got to shoot it over you at that point. You're forcing them.
Yeah, but if you're the coach, you're really worried about that one because OWWR, he has 4 personal fouls, so 1 more foul, and he's out this game. So OWWR, he's going to have to be real apparent, make sure he has his hands all the way up. Don't make no gambles.
I agree.
One wrong move, you're out of here.
I agree, but if I'm the coach, I guess you should be mindful of it, but you have another big down there that he did his job today, Ahmad Sarkor. You could bring him in and make something happen with him. And I'm pretty sure something will happen as Mariners tried to inbound it. It gets poked by King Jr. Seems like that substitution was made. OWWR is in the game. Stephon Roche is in the game. Christian Thomas is in the game. So this is the best defense that you can get out of your old Westbury Panthers. As Mariners, they tried to get it across half court. He almost slipped. As they find number 4 down low. That's Zelzik. He now passes over to number 2, Laverne, and he gets fouled on a shot. He walks to the line wearing some KDs.
and just I really like how he's being real aggressive, even though he's down almost 12 points. You know, if you want to win this game, you have to start now.
We were talking about Flannery being their best player, but it seems like he's right now proving something right now.
Yeah, I think he's trying to prove like he's an impactful player as well, and he has 11 points, and he could potentially get 12 on this last free throw right here. So let's see what he does.
Takes his time and misses the free throw.
Yep,
Christian secures the rebound, and King is out of here. It seems like now Mariners are trying to run some type of zone, but let's see if the Panthers could beat a 3-2 zone. They get the ball down to the middle with Christian. Puts the ball on the floor once, sends it back out to the wing with Emo. There's 6 seconds left. It gets it back to Christian for 3. It's no good off the back rim. There's still a 12-point game for the Panthers as 4 minutes comes down to the clock as Flannery wide open for 3. You cannot leave him open. He now has 26 points. That is his 5th 3 of the game. And the Panthers call their timeout.
Yeah, and Flannery, he is our Rookie of the Week for the Skyline Conference, and he's won that award for the 5th time because he won the latest one as well, and he just had his career high 30 points last game, and I think he's probably going to break that this game.
Well, if he's only a freshman, or if this is his first time playing college basketball, this is his first season, then he was in for a bright future in college basketball, because
definitely,
you know, you go from having 30 points one game, next game you have 5 threes hit, and you know you're the main scorer, main focus of the team. Definitely notable, definitely something to remember and something to take note of. If you're the coach, you want to push him. I mean, we said earlier in the half he should have been getting the ball more. If you wanted to make that comeback earlier, you got to rely on your best players. It seems like the coach decided to have his players share the ball around, but the distance between them and the Panthers has stayed relatively the same.
And I mean, the lead did close down to 9, and this has happened a lot of times to the Panthers, and they haven't really let it go lower than 9, so let's see how the Panthers respond. And there is only a little less than 4 minutes left, so if the Mariners want to make a change and sort of get this win, they're going to have to do something real fast. And I think the Panthers, they might try to burn a lot of time and just try to end this game as fast as possible, but they've been doing that since the beginning, and it's been really hurting them. They've gotten a lot of shot clock violations, so if I was them, I'd probably just lean towards my offense, my quick offense, just try to get
points on the get points on the board and keep that distance between you and the Mariners. I completely agree. And Christian Thomas will be inbounding for King Jr. Jermaine King Jr. brings the ball up, gets it over to Emo on the left wing. A zone is still being formed by the Mariners. It is a 3-2 zone. You have 3 players on the perimeter, 2 down low near by the basket. And right now you see Josh wide open. You do not want to leave him open, and you see why. You see why. That is his second make 3 in a row, 3rd of the game.
Yeah, it feels like Josh Minton, he's second half player.
Yeah, he found that rhythm.
Definitely.
And right now, Laverne, he's made that nice dish to number 3, and number 3 gets it to go. That's Skies Jr. He finally gets off a better shot compared to the other ones he's been getting. But it is now a 10-point game instead of 9. That 3-pointer was very crucial, and it doesn't seem like that type of zone is working on the Panthers when you have a shooter in the corner wide open. They swing the ball around and somebody's open, as you can see. Once again, wide open for 3. Josh Min, he takes it, but it was no good. But they get an offensive rebound, so they're looking for another shot here. And King is still surveying. He's still draining the clock. It is 2 minutes, 30 seconds left. And he gets a pick and roll. Gets it over to Mint, top of the key. Makes it happen. 4th 3 of the game. He is 4 for 8, 50%.
Yeah, and these 3-pointers have definitely changed the tide of this game. And the Mariners, they just were never really able to replicate that.
And a steal is made by the Panthers as King goes up for a layup. And it seemed like contact was made, but no foul was called. And the ball went out of bounds. So it will go back to the Mariners for 2 minutes and 3 seconds to go in the game in regulation. Mariners looking for someone open on the perimeter. That's where their bread and butter is. Perimeter shooting. They get one. Three-pointer is good. That was Dawkins for 3.
Yep.
Taylor Dawkins, to be exact. Number 20. They left him open. That was his first 3 of the game, so I think that was understandable, leaving him open.
And that's probably the exact player you want to leave open. In your mind, you're probably thinking he got lucky. He was able to finally get a point to drop. And Dawkins, he is struggling from that 3-point line. Actually, that was his first 3-pointer. He hasn't really shot it this game, so they definitely didn't expect that. But now, if you're the Panthers, I think now is where you sort of try to waste as much time as possible. And I think it might go down to free throws, a free throw game, because you could get a shot clock violation 4 times and sort of run that timer down.
Right. I agree with you. Funny, I didn't even think about it like that. Yeah, you could really run the clock down, you could really force them to, do a foul situation where you gotta make your free throws and all that. But you can definitely seal the deal right here. However you play after this timeout decides how this game goes. You could let them stay in it and let them hit 2 threes and they're back here, or you could hit 2 threes and send them home. As the Panthers, they get the ball over to Emo. He's dribbling past half court, gets it all the way past half court. Tried to throw it over to Josh, and Josh was down low. Made that backdoor cut for the layup, but he could not catch it. Went out of bounds. It is still a 10-point game. Minute 37 left as Taylor Dawkins brings it up the court.
Yeah, and if you're the Panthers, you definitely don't want that. You want to sort of cut a lot more time, and if I'm the Mariners, I want to score fast, and they're not doing that. They're sort of passing the ball around, just wasting a lot of time.
I agree, as that seemed to be Laverne who dribbled the ball off his own foot, and the Panthers took it from him. And seems like this is where, you kind of see how it's going to end.
Yeah, I mean, the Panthers, they had control most of this game, probably after that first run they had, and now this game is probably going to end in a Panthers win.
It seemed like number 3, Skies Jr. actually hits a 3 and gets a steal off the inbound.
Yeah, and the Panthers are sort of...
Seemed like a foul was called. On Skies, who made that 3. He tried to get an inbound steal. It seemed to be a foul. And it seemed like another foul is called on Laverne for doing the same thing. He tried to get the steal on the inbound, and he kind of grabbed the receiver of the ball.
Yeah, I think he just knows he has to sort of foul. Don't let them waste too much time and just try to get them to the free throw line and hope they miss.
It's now a 7-point game with 53 seconds left. And seems like you're right. Dawkins fouls Emo. And when you think about it, the Panthers can just drain their whole shot clock, and it'll only be 30 seconds left in the game. So you definitely want to take advantage of this lead, take advantage of where you're at right now. As they see in the foul again. And you can kind of see how the game is starting to be decided.
Yep, it feels like this game, to be honest, I don't think this game is over. The Mariners, they got a lot of steals. And I think almost.
Yeah, it seemed to be almost a steal right there, like what you said. They poked for the ball, and they kind of almost made it come loose, but a foul was called on that inbound pass. So Jermaine King Jr. will head to the line.
Yeah, and Jermaine, he had a really great game today. Just on, on both sides of the court, just not making his sides be a disadvantage on the defensive end. And
I agree.
he has 2 steals on the game.
2 steals, along with 7 points and 7 assists and 13 points. So just a overall great performance from your point guard. He actually has 14 and 15 now, just off the 2 free throws that he's made. As the Mariners, they tried to go up for a layup and then pass it, but it was out of bounds. They'll get the ball back, though. It was tipped, so they'll get the ball back.
Yeah, the Mariners, they could find a 3-pointer out of this one, and they pass it to their best player, so that's probably what every coach wants. And Flannery, he just couldn't get that 3 to drop.
There's 36 seconds left, and the Panthers are still up 9 points. The Mariners, they tried to get a 3-point shot up. It was no good. They get it back. They shoot another one. It is blocked, it seems. They get the ball back. Offensive rebound, no good. The Panthers cannot secure a ball, and the Mariners finally get a layup to go, but it is a 7-point game with 27 seconds left.
Yeah, they're really struggling on the boards at certain times. Like, for the most part, this game, the rebounding battle has been all Panthers, but it just feels like once they give up one offensive rebound, he's usually going to follow up with 2-3 more. And now this lead is down to 7 with only 27 seconds left.
This game has been a lot of contact, a lot of defense, a lot of strategy.
Yup. And the Mariners, they did just score, and now the Panthers are going to have the ball, and the Panthers are probably just going to allow the Mariners to foul them and try to make their free throw shots. So
if this is the Panthers, or if you're the Panthers, you want this. You want this win, this conference win. This is very important to your team and to, Old Westbury. You want that conference win. You want that in-conference rival matchup, that divisional matchup. You want that. You want that win against regional teams that they're nearby. You might have somebody from their campus come over to your campus. They can't say nothing about their team because we beat them.
Definitely, and like we were saying before in the pregame, these are both conference teams. So now the Panthers, they're going to be 4-2 at home, and they're going to be a really tough battle for future teams just facing them.
Great way to bounce back from the loss against Farmingdale, as the Panthers get to inbound it, and Mariners are not fouling, or they fouled after a few dribbles. 3 seconds were taken off the clock before they fouled.
Yeah, it just looks like they were trying to force that steal first before they actually get that foul, and they just couldn't get a steal.
King will go back to the free throw line. He made his last 2, and he misses his first attempt. This is not what you want as the Panthers.
Yeah, the Mariners, they have to hurry up and shoot. They're wasting so much time.
If you're the Panthers, you need a hand up. And the Mariners, they took a 3. It was no good. Jermaine King secured his rebound and was pushed out of bounds.
Yup, and this game is pretty much over. I think the Panthers, they did a really good job of just giving themselves a really big lead.
Their clock management early, it wasn't too good. They would get some half-court violations, not passing half-court. But then, they managed their clock well towards the end. They drained a lot of clock. They made sure they could secure the victory while they were up. Once they took that lead, that 10-point gap from the Mariners, they didn't really let that gap get closed.
Yeah.
They kind of maintained that, 9 to 10-point gap, especially after halftime, as Mariners get up one more shot before the clock runs out. The players, they're shaking hands, they're lining up. And what a great game. What a great second half, great first half. That will do it for the Old Westbury Panthers going up against the United States Merchant Marine Academy's Mariners. Score is 74-65, and the Panthers come out on top. So what a hard-fought battle. We will return with an exclusive interview from OWWR with the basketball team's coach and our own sideline reporter, Joe Schaefer. Stay tuned.
Welcome to OWWR, Old Westbury Web Radio. A great match by the Panthers, 74-65 win. We're here with Joe Schaefer, and she's here with Coach Bernard Tomlin of the Panthers. I'm passing it over to her.
Thank you, Josh and Mohammed. I'm here with Coach Tomlin, the SUNY Westbury men's basketball coach. Congratulations on tonight's win. Coming off a blowout loss against Farmingdale State College, how did you prepare for tonight's game?
Well, we got a lot of young players, 7 freshmen, and we just let them know this is college basketball. And one of our slogans for the season is next play. So after that game, we just said next play, get ready for tonight, and they did a good job.
Amazing. A big reason for tonight's win was playing your 2 biggest shooters. What are your thoughts on the advantages they created?
Well, the most important thing with this team is that we have a young team. And, with freshmen, we say that right now they're playing men's basketball versus coming from playing high school basketball. So it's just keeping them focused, letting them know that you're going to face some adversity, but you got to stay focused on your goals.
And the Panthers shot 11 out of 22 shots from the 3-point line. How do you think the players were able to get so many 3-point shots today?
Well, they were a guard-oriented team, so we knew that we needed to go inside and come back out. And we do have good shooters, and fortunately for us tonight, they hit some of those.
All right. Thank you very much. Congratulations on tonight's big win.
Thank you, Jeff, for that great interview by Coach Bernard Tomlin. And like he was saying today, the Panthers, they had a really good game, and I think it was really due to their 3-point shots. They were able to get a lot of them to drop, and they shot 50% on the game.
I agree. And it's funny, the coach literally said one of the things that I said. They went inside, they realized that it was a smaller team, a guard-heavy team. So they went inside, and then they came back out, and that's exactly what they did. They went inside, they used Ofari, Ahmad, and just those other bigs, Yagibota, Sakor. They used those big Roche, especially big one. Mm-hmm. They used their bigs first in that first half and even in the second half, and then they put Josh out there. Josh, King Jr., even Thomas.
Yep,
Thomas was hitting outside. Yeah, 3. He had 3 for 6, but he had like 2 back-to-back, and then he had 1 earlier in the first half. All crucial buckets, and I think you should expect those type of games. Just good strategy from the Panthers. That seems to be their play style. It's not so much being inside or out. It's just playing off of how the other team is playing. I really liked how they took advantage of the rebounding battle, like how we said, them being guard heavy. That made a difference as well with the rebounding. Yeah, you had 2 players with double-digit rebounds for the Panthers.
I think that speaks to their intensity. Their first player with double-digit rebounds is Ofori, their center, and their second person is one of their players that's not as tall as Ofori, Christian Thomas, and I think that just speaks to the intensity he played with this entire game.
Christian Thomas, honestly, was probably the MVP, only because he had the most points and he played the best defense. 2 steals, 2 blocks, and it seemed like he had more than that. He was everywhere on defense, and it seems like that's just his style. Jermaine King, 17 points. He was at the line a lot, especially towards the end. 7 assists, 2 steals. It seemed like he did his job as a point guard, really controlling the offense and really just handling the ball for the Panthers. You said they need to trust their guards more with their ball handling and with their passing. They definitely took care of that. They had about 14 turnovers tonight, so a little bit more turnovers than the Mariners, but it seemed like their shot selection was better, and it seemed like they controlled the pace better. Overall, great win for the Panthers. Great home win, great conference, and great in-conference win for the Panthers.
Yeah, been just a great home win. I think they gave their fans a really good treat and a really good win with a lot of cushion for mistakes. So I just think they allowed their friends to have a real comfortable game, no nerves at the end, just what's going to happen. I think this game was pretty much all Panthers after that first half.
And how about Josh Mint? He missed a few threes, but he also hit a few. And those threes that he were hitting were actually extending the lead or keeping the lead at that same distance. It would always be after the Mariners hit a 3, he would come back and hit one. And, keeping that distance, keeping that same balance throughout the second half, that was really needed, because we saw the Mariners, they tried to go on a run in the second half, but the Panthers shut it down very quickly and just maintained that same energy throughout. That was what we expected, and that's what they gave us.
Yeah, definitely. And, Minton, he started off 1 of 5 from that 3-point line, and he ended the game 4 of 9. So he went 3 of 4 the rest of the way, and the Mariners, they sort of left him open, and he made them pay big time.
Yes, and I'm also looking at the Mariners. They had Flannery, who he had his 26th point and stayed there. We anticipated him to get 30, but he settled.
Yeah, I think the Panthers, they did a really good job of just slowing him down, not allowing him to score anymore after he got that 26 points in the first few minutes with the second half almost closing.
What you notice with the Panthers is they had about 2 to 3 players around that 15-point range, just sharing the ball a lot more. The Mariners, they had a few players in double digits, but they weren't as effective throughout the game. Like Laverne, he started picking up a flow towards the end of the game. It wasn't throughout where he was hitting his shots. It was only towards the end. Skies Jr., he just had an off performance, but it seemed like here and there he would get in his points, but it wasn't he didn't really impose his will. It was mainly Flannery and Zelzik. Even Zelzik, he only had 12, but it felt like he had more. I think the Mariners kind of failed going to them. Those being the main scorers on the court for you, especially Flannery, he played the whole game. So I think that, the fact that he played the whole game and only had 26 was amazing to me. I think he should have had more.
Yeah, and like Coach Tomlin was saying, he knew this team was really guard-orientated, and I think they relied too much on their three-point shot. So that's probably why in that first half, when they were 2 of 10 from that three-point line, they found themselves down 16, and now in that second half, they sort of woke up a little. They shot 9 of 19, 47%. You saw that lead close real quickly, and it almost got into that danger zone, but the Panthers didn't allow that lead to slip.
And then, the Mariners, they kind of had to take those threes to settle because, the Panthers, they were running trees. They had trees. They had 2 bigs in the paint.
Definitely.
They were running some trees out there, and the Panthers overall, they just have better size, a more well-rounded team, and they showed tonight. So overall, great win with the Panthers. Just to add on, they're also 46% from the field, 50% from 3.
Yeah.
Very efficient. We talked about that before. Very, very efficient. They just have to stay. If they stayed up on their turnovers, this would have been a blowout.
Most likely.
This would have been a blowout. But we would like to thank our color commentator, Mohamed Dukuray, for the great commentary, great additions. Our court reporter, Joe Schaefer. Our engineer, Angelina Zavala. Our engineering team, Giselle Bestis, Kimberly Gordon, keeping everything running smoothly. We want to, last but not least, we want to give a special thanks to our station manager, Joseph Manfredi, for making this broadcast possible. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing you guys this game tonight. From all of us at OWWR, Old Westbury Web Radio, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time.